Peter Roskam, a Republican from Illinois, one of Obama's former colleagues back home, and he wants to know, and it's all I could do to listen to this with a straight face. He wants to know, whatever happened to Obama's ability to work with the other side? Mr. President, Peter said, when you were a state senator, you took on some very controversial subjects, death penalty reform. You and I worked together on that. You took on ethics reform. You took on some big things. One of the keys was you rolled your sleeves up, you worked with the other party, and ultimately you were able to make the deal. Over the past year, in my view, that attribute hasn't been in full bloom. And by that I mean you've got the subtext of House Republicans that sincerely want to come and be a part of this national conversation towards solutions, but they've really been stiff-armed by Speaker Pelosi. There really is this dynamic of, frankly, being shut out. I think all of us want to hit the reset button on 2009. How do we move forward? The obstacle is, frankly, the politics within the Democratic caucus. Peter, maybe the difficulties that you notice from Obama is the difficulties that comes from trying to work with a group of crazy people in a bipartisan fashion when they said you're a communist antichrist who want to force grandmas to commit suicide. Maybe that has something to do with the difficulty, Peter, in trying to work with you people.
That's one of the points that I made earlier. I mean, we've got to be careful about what we say about each other sometimes, because it boxes us in ways that makes it difficult for us to work together. Because our constituents start believing us. They don't know sometimes this is just politics, what you guys, or folks on my side do sometimes. So just a tone of civility instead of slash and burn would be helpful. The problem we have sometimes is a media that responds only to slash and burn style politics. You don't get a lot of credit if I say, I think Paul Ryan's a pretty sincere guy and has a beautiful family. Nobody's going to run that in the newspapers, right? And by the way, in case he's going to get a Republican challenge, I didn't mean it. Don't want to hurt you, man. But on the specifics. I think both sides can take some blame for a sour climate on Capitol Hill. What I can do maybe to help is to try to bring Republican and Democratic leadership together on a more regular basis with me. That's, I think, a failure on my part, is to try to foster better communications even if there's disagreement. And I will try to see if we can do more of that this year.
Oh, Mr. President. I mean, to question your ability to work with the other side, to be questioned by a Republican, the same political clutch of morons that produced the Bush crime family. When did George Bush or Dick Cheney or any of these people ever make any effort to work with the other side? I realize, Mr. President, that you're trying to rise above that. But when you have a question that comes from someone, a question that is based in either deliberate misdirection or obvious idiocy, why do you try to answer sincerely? Mr. President, do you think Peter Roskam, your old buddy from Illinois, gives a tinker's damn about what you just said? If he can ask a question that wonders why you can't work with the other side after the other side has insulted your mother, your grandmother, your father, your parentage collectively, your citizenship, your nationality, your race, your wife, and your children, then the man asking that question is an obvious jerk. Or worse. But I promise not to curse on this program anymore. It's insane to try to deal with what remains of a political party that has degenerated into a collection of charlatans, liars, teabaggers, Glenn Beck, Sarah Palin? And then to be asked, well, Mr. President, why, you seem to have lost your ability to work with the other side. I mean, my God, you lost your ability. And the president's line, we got to be careful what we say about each other because, sometimes the folks back home take it seriously. And then he says this, they don't know sometimes this is just politics. What you guys, or folks on my side do sometimes. Just politics? Just politics. So, suggesting that your wife has a relative that lived in a tree and liked bananas. That's just politics, Mr. President? Suggesting that your mother was a whore. That's just politics, Mr. President? I mean, it's one thing to reach out, Mr. Obama, but my God, these people want you dead. Or, I don't know, hasn't anyone told you that? I mean, we know that out here in the world. The number of death threats against the President of the United States has gone up by a factor of what since you took office? That's your trivia question for tonight.